Yeah, so I mean, we all were kind of expecting this, but Trackhouse made it official that Shane Van Gisbergen will drive, and I love this. He'll drive the number 88 in the Cup Series next year, bringing back the number that Dale Jr. and Alex Bowman ran for Hendrick Motorsports. And they also made the decision to release Zane Smith from his contract. They know he got his year in Cup in this year. They know that in all likelihood, the charter agreement is going to forbid them from ever adding that fourth charter. They're just going to have to stick with the 3 that they're going to get. Obviously, not confirmed, but heavily implied that they were getting one of the Stewart-Haas Racing charters. And obviously, this is the right decision. I mean, Zane Smith may be a more well-rounded stock car driver right now in NASCAR. He's got the Truck Series title, got some wins down there. But you're not going to get rid of a guy with the star power of SVG and damn near a guarantee of getting you in the playoffs, especially if you can have a Trackhouse car that's been competitive on the road courses. Give him something he can win in. He'll run up front. He'll put that 88 back in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for Zane Smith. Had a really, really poor start to the season. Has kind of started rounding into form a little bit the more he's been in this Cup Series equipment. A lot of top 20s over the last couple of months. Almost had a run and a win in Nashville a couple months ago as well. And I think something we can't discount here is like, it's kind of a weird situation going on there in this number 71 team as it is. Like, not only is he under Trackhouse right now, but they're over in Colleague. Trackhouse still has a hand in that car. Like, I just kind of get bad vibes from that number 71 team for whatever reason. Rookie crew chief, it hasn't helped him progress. I don't think so. So Zane Smith on Twitter as well was not happy about this situation either. Justin Marks remarks about it too, and how it was a quote easy decision. Not the best look for Marks and Trackhouse in general, kind of how they handled this entire Zane Smith situation. He's a talented driver, though, even if he has to go back to truck for a year, back to the Xfinity Series for a season. I think he can get it done wherever it is. It's sad to see Zane Smith go from Trackhouse here, but, they have Connor Zilic. They're already not super happy with Daniel Suarez. He'll be back in this number 99 car next season. But as you allude to, Shane Van Gisbergen is a star. He is an international star too. He's drawing eyes all across the world and bringing them to NASCAR. 3 Xfinity Series wins so far, maybe a 4th one if Austin Hill didn't rough him up earlier this season at COTA as well. And like you said, he's probably going to have a chance to cash his way into the playoffs next season in the Cup Series as well. Now we just had the news that we're going to Mexico City as well. That's one more road course. I believe that's taking kind of Richmond's place there in the schedule. So, I mean, it's guns a-blazing for SVG next season. Also going to be back out there in Chicago, where he should have freaking won this year if it wasn't for NASCAR not throwing the red flag and due to the weather. I imagine you would definitely take at least a half a win over on SVG next season, given that it'll be close to even money?
Yeah, I would honestly think that they put that at maybe even a
1.5
or something. Yeah, maybe even a 1.5 wins. But I mean, you're drinking a hefty glass of juice there. I think if it's at 0.5 over win total, because you have so many road courses. And how Denny Hamlin put it on his podcast was like, just points wise, he'd be surprised if SVG ran top 25. But with that opportunity to go out there and win a road course, SVG could even find himself in the final 8, which, he could end up that way in Xfinity as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're seeing the same thing in Xfinity, where if you stack wins here, you're getting playoff points. It doesn't really matter which way they come, they're coming. And he's getting better on these ovals, man. Every time you go to a super speedway in the Xfinity Series, you have to, circle SVG's name for a little bit of a long shot there. He had a 4th place run at Indianapolis just a couple weeks ago as well. So SVG cannot be discounted here. I love that Trackhouse is probably paying Colleague to run him in this number 16 car more towards the end of the season as well. So he's just getting more and more work on the ovals. I love it. I think it's the right play. I want to know from the IVT family in the live chat here in the comments after the show as well. Is this the right move to you? Do you guys think that Justin Marks maybe not handled this the right way in the media, but still made the right decision, I think?
Yeah, and that's the tough part. Like, I totally understand where Zane is coming from, that he's upset about this, but this was far and away the correct decision for Justin Marks. The way that Trackhouse looks right now, Ross Chastain's your anchor, championship Ford driver. He's got that experience, even though he hasn't had quite the same year this year.
Yeah,
he's still your anchor. SVG, you brought him in after the Project 91, wild success. He's your guy as long as he wants to race, because he's got that star power. He's got that road course, strong ability to go out there and win 1 or 2, if not even 3 of those because I feel like this 88 is going to run better than the Colleague 16 with interchangeable drivers is. And then you have Suarez, who is going to run 2025, and then he's going to be replaced by Connor Zilic if Zilic has a good year in Xfinity in that 88.
Yeah.
And for Zilic, the sky's the limit for him. They're wanting to tie him down. They're not wanting to stick around with Daniel Suarez unless Suarez really breaks out of his shell. I think getting that win in Atlanta kind of saved his job for next year, but they only signed him to a 1-year extension for a reason. And I know Justin Marks and Trackhouse have been a feel-good story, and there's still feel-good element there. But at the end of the day, you have to run the best race team you can run. You have to go out there and fight with the Gibbs and the Hendricks and those guys that have been doing it forever. You need to make sure you have your 3 best guys in your 3 Cup cars if you're only going to get to have 3 Cup cars, and they will have that in 2026, and they'll still have a damn good lineup in 25, just as they've had a good lineup this year.
Absolutely. And last note on this for me, if Zane Smith does go back to the Truck Series, hallelujah, there'll be a lot of top 5 bets coming from this particular program on him next season. I'm curious to see what kind of ride he could get with maybe Eckes or Heim potentially moving out of that series. So maybe one of these top truck seats is open for him. So I'm excited for it, man. I think it's the right move overall. Zane Smith done a little bit dirty here, but still at the end of the day, I think it will all work out in time.
Yeah, hopefully he does get a decent ride somewhere. They're talking about manufacturer drama. Apparently Ford was upset with him for the way that he left for that Trackhouse deal. At the time, I mean, they didn't really have any upward mobility for him. I'm going to go sign with the potential of Trackhouse, even though it didn't work out. Hopefully he can still have a seat at the table with Ford because, I mean, they brought in those guys for Haas factory team, but there's not really a prospect pipeline for Ford in the same way that there is for Chevy and Toyota. So that could be his best move. I mean, he's probably not going to get that 38 front row truck again, but go run in the Truck Series, run a Ford, run a whatever. He's a guy that's talented enough. He'll land somewhere.